Right. Now to solve linear equations, as I mentioned, see the single method. I would like to call that method inverse operation method. Now you don't have to worry about the name of this, but I use the term or the strategy inverse operation method. Now you have learned this words inverse operations in, I think, in grade 7 or 8. I think you are familiar with this inverse operation method, right? In flow diagrams in grade 7, I think. Now that is the single method I am going to teach. Let's see how it works, right? Now you know there are 4 types of operations basically in mathematics. When I say the first one, you will definitely know the second one. So addition is the basic operation we learn, and then subtraction, and then multiplication, and then division. These are the 4 basic operations we have. So what are the inverse operation of these? Inverse operation of addition is subtraction. Right? Inverse operation of addition is subtraction. So that inverse operation of subtraction is what? Addition. Then inverse operation of multiplication, it's division. Then inverse operation of division, we know it's multiplication. So these are the inverse operations. This is what we are going to use to solve these equations I mentioned. So let's see how this works, right? Now we'll start with a simple equation where, as I mentioned in the previous clip. Now if you are very good at mathematics, sometimes you may find this, oh, this is very simple, that we know how to solve this, right? But bear with me, you will see a novel approach of this. So get this from the beginning, you will solve any type of equation. See the example. Say 3x plus 1 equals, say, 9, right? Then okay, I will take 10 here, so that you will get same answer here. Right now, solve 3x plus 1 equals 10. Now here, understand the variable. What the variable here? It's x. So we try to get all the operations with this x in that same side. This variable is in the left hand side of the equation. So let's see the total operations related to this variable. Now it is immediately start with what? When the variable is multiplied by a number here, we call this, can you remember what you call this? This is coefficient. It's called coefficient. Here, coefficient of x is 3. In other words, coefficient means the number where the variable is multiplied. Here, see, immediately x is multiplied by 3. So we write that operation here. What the first operation? X is multiplied by 3. I write here. X is multiplied by 3. And then what is the next operation? After x is multiplied by 3, 1 is added. So the next operation is what? Addition of 1. 1 is added. Right? So here the secret of this. Once you identify these operations, so we start with the inverse operation of that. So we start with the last operation we wrote here. First multiplied by 3 and then added. So we start with that. You start the inverse operation of this here. So inverse operation of addition 1 is what? Subtraction 1. So what you do, always take that inverse operation to both sides of this equation. Right? So what you do, write this -1 on both sides. So what you write, here we have 3x, here we have +1, write this -1 here, and this side also write the -1 here. Right? So we use that inverse operation here. What happened here? +1 -1 get cancelled. Then what we have left here on the left hand side, 3x equals 10 minus 1, 9. Now see the second operation. It is multiplied by 3. So the inverse operation is what? Divide by 3. So both sides we divide by 3. If they cancel, so x equals 3. So this is the answer. Now another one I have to remind here. Normally the students don't do this. You can check yourself whether the answer you got is correct. How? By simply substitute this back in the equation, original equation. Now see, we have obtained x equal 3. That means when x is 3 here, this implied multiplication. So when x is 3, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 plus 1 is 10. So it's equal to 10, right? It's correct. So the answer that you obtain is correct. So you know, equations, you have that advantage. You can always substitute the answer in the original equation and make sure that the answer you obtain is correct. Now, I think you got this, right? We'll move on to another example. Say we have 7x plus 1 equals, let's say 7x minus 1 equals say 20, 20, right? Start with operations we have here. First x is multiplied by 7, so we write multiply by 7. The next operation, subtract that 1 from that. So subtract 1. Now we move on to the inverse operation. Starting from the last operation we wrote, subtraction 1 replaced by addition 1. So add 1 to both sides. We have 7x minus 1 plus 1 equals 20 plus 1. So add that to both sides, right? Same thing to both sides. Here this get cancelled. We have 7x here equals 21. Come to the second operation. Multiply by 7, the inverse operation is divide by 7. So divide both sides by 7. Get cancelled, so x equals 3. Here also x equals 3. So we can make sure the answer is correct. X is 3, so 7 times 3 is 21. 21 minus 1 is 20. So the answer we have obtained is correct. Right? So this is how we use the inverse operation to solve linear equations. Now we will move on to another type of equation. Right? Now let's see, if we have a bracket like this. So if you have a bracket, see this one, 2 times say x plus 4 plus 5 equal 18. Right? Now see, don't get scared or don't worry about this. Say compared to the previous one, you may see a little bit complicated. Don't worry. Follow the same method. You start with the variable. What the variable? X. Now you can see the immediate operation with x is what? First we finish inside the bracket. X is at first addition 4 is the first operation done to x. Addition 4. So we write the first operation is what? Plus 4. Plus 4. Right? Plus 4, and then after we can see, after adding 4 to that, immediately the whole expression is multiplied by 2. Don't jump to this side because it is separate, will be another addition mark here. So this all together, right? Can see this all together. So x, the first operation is addition 4, and then the whole thing is multiplied by 2. The second operation is what? Multiplied by 2. Once you finish multiplying by 2, the whole thing, the next operation is what? Added 5. So then the next one is what? Add 5. So plus 5. So it's plus 5 here, right? So write little this side, it's plus 5. So let's see, I take little bit this side. So the first operation is plus 4. The second operation is multiply by 2. And then the last operation is with add 5. Add 5. Now we use the inverse operation. Start with the last operation we did and use the inverse of that. Last operation is plus 5. So we use the inverse operation minus 5. So that means subtract 5 from both sides. So write the same thing. Write the same thing. You write the same thing here. Plus 5. Now we have the left hand side. Now subtract 5 from this side. Equal. This side we have 18. Subtract 5. So minus 5 to both sides. Now it's clear, this get cancelled here. Plus 5 minus 5 get cancelled. So what remains here? 2 times x plus 4 on the left hand side. On the right hand side we have 30. So the first operation, inverse operation is done. Now go to the second inverse operation. Multiplied by 2. So what the inverse operation? Divide by 2. So next, you divide both sides by 2. So here we divide both sides by 2. By 2. By 2. Right? Now here you are getting say a fraction here. Doesn't matter. You can solve, but I think I'll just take a divisible number here so that it is easy to understand. We'll come to the fractional part later, right? So for the moment, what's important is to solve this. So I'll take 17 here. So then 17 minus 5 is 12. So what happened? This side is to get cancelled. The left hand side we will have x plus 4 equals 12 divided by 2 is 6. So the last operation we had here plus 5. So inverse operation is plus 4 inverse operation is minus 4. So subtract 4 from both sides. Now subtract 4 from both sides. It cancels, so x equals, you can see 2. X equal to, so this is the answer, x equal 2, right? So right, well, right a little up. So x plus 4 equals 6. So subtract 4 from both sides. So we have x equals 2 here. So x equals 2. Now if you substitute that 2 here and see whether the value of the left hand side you get 17. Now see, then x is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. So left hand side is equal to right hand side. So we are clear with that. So remember, any type of these equations can be solved using this inverse operation method. Right? We'll move on to another equation. So we'll try different equations and you can try out this yourself as well. Right, now you can pause the video with this and try yourself and come back and see how we have solved it. Say this is third example. I'll take in this way. 11 minus 7 times 2x plus 1 equals say 22. I don't know whether the exact whole number will come as the answer or fraction. Let's see. Now start with the inverse operations here. Right? What are the inverse operations? I will take a little bit this side. So third equation. Say another one. 11 plus 3 times say 2x minus 1 equals 15. Okay, how you solve this? So sometimes you may get panic when you see such an equation. So stick to the method, don't worry about this. What you do, again start with the variable we have here. The immediate operation done, that is what? Multiplied by 2. So here the operations we have multiplied by 2. Variable is multiplied by 2. And then what happened? After multiply by 2, 1 is subtracted from that. The next operation is what? Minus 1. And then see, this all work as single term here. The immediate one we have the bracket. So x is multiplied by 2, subtracted 1. After that the whole thing is multiplied by 3. So write the next operation, multiplied by 3. Multiplied by 3. Then 11 is added here. We have plus here, right? So this is plus. For this one, 11 is added. So it's plus 1. So plus 11. Now we will start with the inverse operation. Go to the last operation we have. The last operation we saw is plus 11. Use the inverse operation, but minus 11. So we start with that. We use the inverse operation minus 11 and carry out to both sides of that. So here we have 11 plus 3 times 2x minus 1. You write the whole thing here and then subtract 11 from both sides. Right? Now doesn't matter it is in two places. This plus 1 get cancelled with this minus plus 11 get cancelled with minus 11. What remains in this side? 3 times 2x minus 1 equals 15 minus 11 is 4. Now move on to the second operation. Multiplied by 2, 3. Inverse operation is divide by 3. So divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by 3. 3 get cancelled. So we have 2x minus 1 equals 4 over 3. So once again, to make you understand easy, I'll just change this one. So we can have 14 here. Let's see, we have 14 here. In 14 minus 11 is 3. So when you divide both sides by 3, this 3 get cancelled. 3 divided by 3 is what to the 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now the next operation, we have minus 1. So the inverse operation of minus 1 is what? Plus 1. So now add 1 to both sides. 2x minus 1, add 1 to both sides. Add 1 to both sides. Right? So 1 again is get cancelled. We have 2x here equals 1 plus 1, 2. So the last operation we had here, multiplied by 2. So the inverse operation is what? Divide by 2. So divide by 2. So divide both sides by 2. Get cancelled. X equals 1. So this is the answer. X equals 1. Now again you can substitute here and make sure that the left hand side is 14. You can just do it mentally. Now see, when x is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 multiplied by is 3, 11 plus 3 is 14, which is equal to the right hand side. So you can see one single method that writing the operations and using the inverse of that, you find that how easy to obtain the answers. Right now, I'll take to another interesting type of linear equation here. Right? Let's see if a fraction is involved. If a fraction is involved, how we are going to solve it? Let's see. Still the same method. I'll still stick to the same method, the inverse operation method. Now see this one. See this example here. Say the fourth example. I start with a little simple equation. X divided by 4 minus 5 equals 11. Right. Again, there is no change in the method of inverse operation. Whatever the type of the equation, we are going to use the same thing. Here, the unknown term is x. Now, what happened to x? X is immediately divided by 4. The previous examples, we saw that x is multiplied by some number at the beginning. Here, x is divided by 4. So, first operation we have done is what? Divided by 4. The next operation is what? After that, subtracted 5. So, the next operation is what? Minus 5. So, now move on to the inverse operation, the solving process. Start with the last operation we had. Minus 5, the inverse operation we know. Plus 5. And then add 5 to both sides. First you write the same thing on the left hand side. Add 5 to both sides. Add 5 to both sides. It's clear that minus 5 get cancelled with plus 5. Here we have x over 4 equals 16. Now this one, division 4. The inverse operation is what? Multiplied by 4. So that means multiply both sides by 4 in this occasion. Multiply both sides by 4. So here x over 4 you multiply by 4. This side we have 16 you multiply by 4. So this get cancelled here. We have x equals 16 times 4 is 64. Right? That's the answer. See how simple? Right? You don't have to by heart the type. Just stick to the operation method. You can substitute that here and make sure whether the left hand side comes or gives 11. X 64. Now do it mentally. If x is 64, 64 divided by 4 is 16. 16 minus 5 is 11. So the answer that we have obtained is correct. So I think you find very easy, right? So this is the operation, inverse operation method that we use, right? I'll move on to another type of, another example, right? Now you can just pause the video at this stage and try out yourself and see whether you have done it correctly, right? If something has gone wrong, you can just go back and learn, right? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Right, now this one. Say example 5. I take it this way. 8 minus 4x divided by 5 equals, say, I'll take 11 at this stage. Right. Okay. Don't worry about the expression of this. Immediately the variable is multiplied by 4. So x is multiplied by 4. The first operation is what? First operation is multiplied by 4. After x is multiplied by 4, then it is divided by 5. So the next operation, divided by 5, division 5. And then remember, now don't get confused here. 8 is not subtracted here. This is not the sign. This sign belongs to this one, right? So after multiplying x by 4 and divided by 5, 8 is added. Actually here in front of this there is no sign, that means plus, right? In other terms, say in other words, you understand in this way, x is multiplied but actually minus 4, think like that. X, because this minus belongs here, x is multiplied by minus 4 and divided by 5, right? So it's better write like that. I'll just make a change here, then you won't get confused here. We'll write x is multiplied by minus 4, multiplied by minus 4. So x is multiplied by minus 4 divided 5 and added 8. So here plus sign is not there, but it's implied that it is addition there. Right. So we start the inverse operation. First, the last operation in this is addition 8. So move on to subtraction 8. So minus 8. So subtract 8 from both sides. So here we have 8 minus 4x divided by 5. Subtract 8 from both sides. This in two places doesn't matter. Plus 8 minus 8, right? Plus 8 here, plus 8 here, minus 8 get cancelled. So we have minus 4x. Don't forget the sign. The one mistake that our children often do is they forget these signs. Don't forget the sign. The whole answer will be wrong. So it is multiple. So this is minus 4x by 5 equals 11 minus 8 is 3. The next operation is division 5. So the inverse operation is multiplied by 5. So multiply both sides by 5. So here we have minus 4x divided by 5 multiplied by 5, 3 multiplied by 5. So here this 5 get cancelled. So we have minus 4x equals 15. Now the last operation we have here, multiplied by minus 4, so divide by minus 4. Remember, the inverse operation does not change this sign here, right? Here multiplied by minus 4, the inverse is divide by minus 4. Divide by minus 4. So divide both sides by minus 4. So here we divide both sides by minus 4 here. Minus 4 get cancelled. So x equals, to write this as a mixed number, this is improper fraction. 15 divided by 4, we have 3 15s. So 3 times 4, 12. Another 3 remains. Same denominator is negative. So plus divide by minus is minus, the negative answer. Right? So the answer is 3 over 4. So this is how we get. You can see how simply we solve these equations, right? So any type of equation can solve in this way. Now when it's come to O-level mathematics, you can see in our national syllabus, even in Cambridge and Edexcel, in the first paper in national syllabus, you know the paper structure. The first paper, first 25 questions are say short questions. So most of the time we get an equation, a simple a linear equation to solve. Not always linear equations, but we have observed that these type of equations are there. So this is how it's obtained. So don't just get panic as you see the equation, right? Just stick to the inverse operation method. Stay calm, just find the variable, right? So write the operation step by step and then you will get the answer. Here also we can substitute here, right? But since it is a fraction here, it will get a little complicated, but still you can write 4 multiplied by 15 over 4 means that 4 and this minus 4 get cancelled, 15 will remain here, 15 divided by 5 is 3, right? And then so this is 4 is 15 over 4, 4 get cancelled and we have minus 4, so minus, we have minus 15 here, minus 15 plus 15, 15 divided by 5 is 3, 8 plus 3 is 11, so left hand side we will have the answer 11 as right hand side, right? So this is how we solve linear equations. Now you observe that here we have the variable only on one side, right? Now I'll take one last example in this to see how it works, right? Last two examples with this example and another type of example that where the variables on the right hand side. So let's see, I'll move to the sixth example. Again you can pause the video and try out yourself. Say minus 3 minus 2 times x plus say 4 equals say 19, right? So these are no more complicated equations for all. I know that since you have listened very carefully. Again, don't get panic, find the variable. We start with the variable. What the first operation done here? The x plus 4 plus 4, that is 4 is added to the variable. So first operation is what? Addition 4. Next operation, once the variable is added 4 to the variable, it is multiplied by minus 2. Don't forget the sign. It is multiplied by minus 2. Now when we have a positive sign, we don't worry about the sign because positive does not change, right? So it does not make any big impact there. So here, but make sure that when we have a negative sign, so make sure to write with the sign. So plus 4 and then the next operation is what? That is multiplied by negative 2. So it is multiplied by negative 2. And then the whole thing we have that and subtracted 3. Remember, signs are important again. After multiplying this by minus 2, the whole thing is connected by a subtraction 3. So 3 is subtracted from this one. So it's minus 3. Right? Let's start the inverse operation process. Go to the last operation we had. Minus 3, the inverse operation is plus 3. So what you do? Add plus 3 to both sides. Here minus 3, first you write the left hand side. Don't worry about the position that you are going to write. Left hand side is here. Now add 3 to both sides. Add 3 to both sides. You can see in these two corners, minus 3 plus 3 get cancelled. It happens definitely because we do the inverse operation to cancel these terms. Now what remains? Minus 2 x plus 4 remains on the left hand side. Right hand side we can see 19 plus 3 is 22. Move on to the next operation we have here, minus 2. So add 2 to both sides, minus 2 here, that is subtracted 2, add 2 to both sides in this stage. So here, sorry, this, here I am, this is, just I have done a mistake here. If I start from the beginning, x is here addition 4, and then it is multiplied by minus 2. It is multiplied. You can see a number with the bracket. Just immediately with the bracket, you can see there is no sign between 2 and the bracket. There is no sign between 2 and the bracket means multiply. So it is multiplied by minus 2. So sorry, I have forgotten here. It is multiplied by minus 2. Right? It is multiplied by minus 2. So the inverse operation is what? Divide by minus 2. So now divide both sides by minus 2. So here divide both sides by minus 2. Minus 2 get cancelled. So we have x plus 4 here equals 22 divided by 2 is 11 plus divided by minus is minus. Now the last operation we have here, addition 4. So the inverse operation is subtracting 4 from both sides. So x plus 4 on the left hand side, minus 4, this side 11 minus 4. So both sides you are subtract 4, this get cancelled here. X equals minus 11 minus 4 is what? Again, I think you remember that directed numbers, when we have the same signs, add the values and have the same sign. X is minus 15. Now you can substitute that here and make sure the answer that you get on the left hand side is 19. So x is minus 15. When we have minus 15 here, I just write and see. This is minus 15 here. So you need the knowledge of directed numbers here. Minus 15 plus 4 is minus 11. Right? Minus 15 plus 4 because different signs. So you get the difference of the number and have the sign of the biggest number. So 15, difference between 15 and 4 is 11. So it is minus because this is greater than this. So this is minus 11. Minus 11 multiplied by minus 2 is minus 11 multiplied by minus 2. Minus into minus plus 2 divided by 11. 2 multiplied by 11 is 22. So 22 minus 3. 22 minus 3 is 19. So left hand side we have 19. So as the same in right hand side. So the answer we obtained is correct. I think you have tried this, right? So these are the type of linear equations, right? So I think you found very easy when you use this inverse operation method, right? Now here we have the variable always on the left hand side. Let's see what change that we can see if the variable is on the right hand side, right? Actually there is no difference. Use the same operation here, right? So but this time we will have that is on the right hand side. Say example 7. Say we have 18 plus 18 equals 4 minus 3 times x plus say 6. I don't know whether you will get a fractional answer or whole number, right? And now the variable is on the right hand side, but doesn't matter. We start with the variable. So variable is x here. So move on to the operations. So the first operation with x is what? Immediately is added 6. X plus 6. So the first operation is plus 6 here. And then once 6 is added, that whole expression is multiplied by 3. You can see there is no sign between 3 and the bracket, that means multiplied. It is multiplied by minus 3. Next operation is what? Multiplied by minus 3. Multiplied by minus 3. And then added 4. Can see this is added, right? After multiplied by minus 3, we have plus 4 here. So added 4. So next one is plus 4. Now we will move on to the inverse operation here. Start with the last operation we did, plus 4. So that is inverse operation is minus 4. So subtract 4 from both sides. First you write 18 here. Subtract 4 from this side. 4 minus 3 times 6 plus 6. Now minus 4. This 4 and this 4 get cancelled. Plus 4 minus 4. Then we have 18 minus 4 is 14 equals minus 3 times x plus 6. Now the second operation, multiplied by minus 3, you divide by minus 3, inverse operation. You divide both sides by minus 3, this by minus 3, this by minus 3, so get cancelled. So we have, at this stage I just keep the fraction here, equals x plus 6. Now the last operation, plus 6, the inverse operation is minus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides. Minus 14 divided by 3 minus 6 equals x plus 6 minus 6. Get cancelled. So we have minus 14 divided by 3 minus 6. Now I am not going to teach how to do these fractions, but I just get at once. When we have a fraction with a whole number, you can just multiply the whole number by this denominator. 3 times minus 6 is minus 18, right? I will do this mentally. Now later on in another lesson I will explain the fraction in detail. For the moment you remember, when we have a fraction with a whole number, just multiply the denominator by this whole number. That is minus 6 into 3 is minus 18. Minus 18 minus 14 is, what we have, minus 30, minus 18 minus 32 equals x. The answer is minus 32. Right? 18 and 14 minus 32. You can substitute here and make sure the answer on the left hand side is 18. Let's see. Minus 32. Minus 32 plus 6 is, you can see here, sorry, minus 30 divided by 3, sorry. The denominator I forgot. Minus 30 divided by 3. Right? The denominator is there, right? You multiply this by 3 and minus 18 minus 14 is minus 32. You can't forget the denominator in the fraction, so it's 3. So 32 divided by 3, so here we get a fraction here. So if I substitute the fraction here, you will get complicated here, right? So later on, once we master the fractions as well, you can substitute this and see, right? So for the moment we can make sure that the answer is correct here. Okay? So I think I have discussed all type of possible equations where the variable is on one side. Right? Now we can see how we solve if we have the variable on both sides. So our next few minutes will be allocated to solve the equations, linear equations, where you see the unknown term on both sides.